We gotta talk about that ending and those two post-credit scenes for the Thunderbolts! Because they answered all of the big questions that we have all had about the MCU. Like, where are the Avengers and how does this all connect to Doomsday and Secret Wars? And I'm letting you know right now, you gotta hear this to believe it. And either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. This is your spoiler warning. You have been warned. And the beginning of the end of the movie is the Void saying, "Stand ready for my arrival, worm." As this demon literally sucked in the entire city of Manhattan into the Void. But this is actually really smart and explains why no other New York superhero showed up, because they were all stuck in the Void. And for the most part, outside of the Thunderbolts, everybody forgets their first time in the Void anyway. So for everyone saying, "Where's Spider-Man? Where's Punisher? Where's Daredevil?" Shh. But the Thunderbolts are able to defeat Sentry / the Void with, yes, the power of friendship. Or should I say, but I don't care what anyone says. This scene works and I loved it. When they all start hugging him and telling him that he's not alone, they got some real tears out of me. We also got that scene of Sentry in his yellow suit beating the dog shit out of every single member of the Thunderbolts. It was light work and it was beautiful. But anyway, after the Thunderbolts are able to defeat Sentry / the Void, basically just calm them down and then Bob forgets everything. They set their sights on Valentina, longest name ever, as really she was the actual villain of this movie. Manipulating everything was the reason Bob became Sentry / the Void. But as our remaining members of the Thunderbolts chase after her, she lures them into a press event very similar to this Dark Avengers panel. But we finally find out why Thunderbolts has that asterisk. And no, it's not the Dark Avengers. Valentina finds a way to spin this whole thing with Sentry and the Void and the Thunderbolts into her favor. She announces them as the new Avengers, the heroes who protected New York City from the Void. But it was actually so funny because everyone was like, hold on, I kind of like this. Red Guardian was like, fuck yeah, I've always wanted this. But I love how Yelena whispered over to Valentina and she was like, "We own you now." As the credits roll, we get like these cool New York Times articles that look a lot like the posters released for the movie, with headlines like, "What do you mean these are the new Avengers?" It actually kind of reminded me of the opening credits for Deadpool 2 when everyone was like, "What the fuck?" But that brings us to the mid-credit scene, which is really just a funny gag. And it's of the Red Guardian in a grocery store picking up a Wheaties box with the Thunderbolts on it, as he asked this girl if she's gonna get some too. And he's like, "That's me on the box." Which, don't get me wrong, was funny and all, but fuck all of that. You know why you're here. Because the post-credit scene sees us back with the new Avengers Tower now. As we get the team entering their lounge area, we see that they all got new fits, new suits, hairdos, with the one matching thing, a red A for Avengers on each of their shoulders. Bucky's fit is so cold, it made me so mad because the whole time I was looking at Bucky during the entire movie, I was like, bro, his hair is not styled great, his fit is whack. They shut my ass up with his fit. I was like, bro, I need this. Like, I need a figure of it. It looks a lot like the Kelly and Lansing Thunderbolts. It's got the red star on the right shoulder, and then I think he's got the Avengers logo on his metal arm, but he obviously doesn't have like the mask, and his hair is styled like slick back. It's sick as fuck. But in this post-credit scene, we learn that Sam Wilson is not happy with the fact that they named themselves the new Avengers. And rightfully so. I mean, Cap is Cap. He's the leader of the Avengers. And then Yelena tells him that he's going to copyright, he copyrighted the name Avengers, which is when Alexi pops out, literally looking like he came from his Gran Turismo role. And he's like, "I have solution to problem. We call ourselves New Avengers with Z." He's wearing this like tracksuit just like this with a bunch of product placement on it. So stupid. But it's legit like a 5-minute scene with the same banter we see throughout the movie, and they're just kind of shooting the shit. It reminded me a lot of that scene in Avengers Age of Ultron. But you also understand why Marvel decided to go with this group of characters to be one of the main pillars for Doomsday, because they're just such lovable characters with so much depth. Which brings us to the big shit, because out of nowhere, something has entered the upper atmosphere. As their satellite images pick up on a ship coming through a multi-dimensional portal, we see the 4 on the side of the ship, and then we hear fantastic. Then we cut to black, and all we get is the new Avengers and Bob will return. Finally, some interconnectivity. But also, did they just spoil the end of Fantastic Four? I mean, I feel like we all knew that that movie was going to end with that world dying anyway. Galactus was probably going to consume their Earth, and they were going to need to get here anyway because we know they're going to be in Doomsday. But also, we're planting some really fun seeds of when all of these groups of teams come together. I'm assuming Reed Richards is going to find a way to get Monica Rambeau from the end of the Marvels, and that's going to be the universe where we get that team of X-Men to come to this universe, or vice versa. We go to their universe, doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure that means that Reed or Franklin Richards is going to be like the key to getting everyone together and fighting Doom. That's probably how we're going to get Shang-Chi too, which they might be taking some little inspiration from this new Thunderbolts run too. But the pieces of the puzzle are finally starting to come together, and this post-credit scene has me so excited. But let me know what you thought about all this down in the comments below, and as always, like and follow for more.